extremely generous. Luke Pollard.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. We've got towards the end of a defence debate with all the defence family here, and no one has said the word Plymouth. And so it seems only appropriate that I rise to my feet and talk about Plymouth. But first of all, I want you to cast your minds back for a few years. Before you see this wonderful silver fox in front of you, I had brown hair, and back in 2004, I was at the NATO summit in Istanbul. And it was there where why real affection for NATO was formed, and understanding how important it is that we cooperate across borders and how important it is that we are ready to face the threats that are coming our way. Now, warfare is indeed changing, and we must keep an eye on the future. No one's denying that it's changing, and NATO needs to be flexible and adaptable, and if I'm honest, it has been too hard and too structured to respond to some of its needs. It was doing that after the terrorist threat that we saw from 2001 onwards. It's still a little bit too inflexible, and to the point that my honourable friend from Gedling made, it doesn't seem to be able to cope with the understanding about how hybrid warfare and online and cyber threats are facing us as an alliance, and it needs to. Now, we know that there is increased Russian activity threatening the alliance. We know that there is a very real risk of Russian cyber attacks in the UK, and there have been to our NATO allies. But Article 5 has not been triggered, which means that we're in this limbo land where they're getting away with it. But if we were using those tactics prevalent 100 years ago, they would have been in a conflict. And we need to understand how that threat is going to be there. But as well as understanding about what's going on with hybrid warfare to destabilise allies, use of drones and swarm warfare, which is something that Russia is practising and using in Syria, and the increase in its military activities elsewhere in weaponising migration. We need to keep an eye on our high-end capabilities. And in particular, I want to just briefly talk about the maritime role, because in Devonport we have a world-class dockyard, a world-class naval base, and skills that we really need. And with increased Russian submarine activity in the North Atlantic, the anti-submarine warfare of the Type 23s and the Type 26s that I hope the government front bench will announce will be coming to Devonport shortly are absolutely essential, as are understanding how we can counter the rise in Russian surface fleet activity and undersea cable spy ships, which is an increasing threat which is not often spoken about in this place here. But we also need to protect our amphibious capabilities, and the UK has a fantastic amphibious capability in Albion and Bulwark and the Royal Marines, and we need to make sure that is protected. We need to make sure that is protected in the Modernising Defence Review that's coming, and so when the ministerial assurances that Albion and Bulwark will be going out of service in 2033 and 2034 are realised, that I hope that commitment will also maintain in the Modernising Defence Review when it's published next month. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Because the Honourable Lady was